What point does location supersede doing upgrades when it comes to gaining value for your house? I guess in other words, at some point you say your location is so good you really can't do much to increase value.
We've talked about that on the show a few times. I'll touch on the opposite too, but everyone, well, it's not everyone. It's so common to hear people say real estate's about location, location, location. And I argue with that. I don't like that. Location is obviously very, very important, but it's not the only thing, right? You could give me the best location on earth. If the house is garbage, I don't want it, right? I used to use this joke, like there'd be the best location in town. There are houses that even in that location, I couldn't give somebody because it would cost so much money to get the house gone, right? Location is absolutely a top-end factor. The question is, when does location supersede upgrades and repairs or the condition of the home? And it's a very difficult question to answer, but what I would say is this. There are scenarios where the location and the supply and demand factor is so good that you don't need to update the house at all. You're going to maximize the value of the home simply because it is where it is. Right now, there are some areas like that in West Fort Worth. There's some areas like that in West Richardson, ironically. There's some areas like that in the kind of developmental areas of Saxe. There are some areas like that near South Lake Town Center where people want to be there so bad because of the schools, because of the shopping, because of the uniqueness of the homes that they'll deal with the condition later. Now, on the flip side, though, there are some areas where the condition of the property is so bad that the quality of the location couldn't help you enough, right? But location is very, very, very important. It is not ever the only thing, but a lot of times it's the most important thing. And I can give you examples. For example, right now, Lovejoy School District is in such high demand that there are a lot of people that would buy a lot with a horrible house on it, which there's not that many of out there, but they would buy a beautiful lot with a horrible house just because they want to be in the schools, right? They would buy a 3-bed, 2-bath house when what they really need is a 5-bed, 3-bath house, and they would figure out the upgrades later because they want to be in the school district so bad. There are some elementary schools in West Richardson that are that way. There are some pockets of Keller that are that way. Southlake as an entire school district has been that way for a long, 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 long time. Highland Park as a school district has been that way for a long, long time. Some people will buy anything they could afford in Highland Park just to get in Highland Park schools. They might be renting a condo that's about to fall onto the ground, but they got their kids in Highland Park schools. So in that scenario, they would rent or buy at whatever they could just to get into the location. So of course it's a big factor, but it's not always the only factor. And I do think people always need to be careful of not letting a location get you into a really bad situation.